And welcome back to Sports Talk as we continue here on this Twitter Tuesday. Steve Kaplowitz joined on our Village Inn hotline right now, where all of our guests always appear, with a man who will be making a return trip to El Paso. It seems like it was just yesterday he fought in the Sun Bowl, but coming up, we will get a chance to see on Saturday, July the 18th, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. returning to the ring to take on Marcos Reyes. And first off, Junior, it's good to have you back on the show. How you doing?
Good. I'm training hard for this fight because I have a tough fight in front of me, and I'm ready to July 18th.
I know that the first time when you fought, back, I think it was the summer of 2012 now. It's been a few years, Julio, but when you were at the Sun Bowl against Andy Lee, yeah. It was a crazy fight because we didn't even know if it was going to happen, and then it did. You had a big crowd. You fought in front of the fans here in El Paso, and a lot of people, they've been waiting 3 years for you to come back.
Yes. It's nice. Very nice for me. I beat Andy Lee. I knocked Andy Lee in the second round, and now this guy is a world champion. You know, this fight is a very good fight.
Now you've got a ton of fans in Mexico. You obviously have a lot of fans in El Paso. Your dad fought here over the years, and you, I'm sure, are very aware of the kind of fight town or boxing town here in El Paso, Texas, especially with Juarez, Mexico, aren't you?
Yes. I feel very good fighting in El Paso and all around Texas, you know, in San Antonio. I fight in San Antonio and Houston and El Paso too, and I'm very happy to fight in El Paso again because every time I fought in Texas, I win.
Well, if that's the case, you need to fight in El Paso more often, right?
Yeah.
Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. with us here on Sports Talk as we continue on the program. Let's talk a little bit about your new trainer. Tell our listeners about how your training camp has been going before this fight, and getting a chance to just work with somebody different who is not, has not been a regular part of your team.
Robert Garcia is one of the best trainers in the world. You know, he speaks Spanish too. You know, I have a good connection with him, and I stayed a little less than 2 years of boxing. And now with Robert, he's tell me and a little things in my style, and like back to the basics, work my jab and some things, and then in the last fight don't really say in the plan. I didn't do it right. The last fight.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, as you've looked back at the film and the tape of that last fight, I'm sure it's hard for you to watch because people would probably see that and say, that's not Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. in the ring. It just didn't seem like that was your normal self.
Yeah, but I pick a strong opponent, and when you go to the ring, then everything can happen, You can lose, you can win. I have too much time into the ring, and I try to do my best this night, but I'm tired, and this is the reason why I lost the fight, because I'm tired and I have too much time off the ring. But now it's different, this fight has helped me a lot. I have more hungry now, and I can demonstrate this July 18 in El Paso.
Do you feel, just in training camp that you're in much better shape now than you were in before your last fight?
Yes. I'm fight Saturday and I start training Monday, and now I have 5 months, train non-stop. And for sure, I'm better shape than the last fight. Yesterday, I sparred 12 rounds, and I fight the fight is 10 rounds. I'm ready for the fight.
Now, you're also going to go down to 168, and that seems to be, I guess, a weight that you're going to be a little more comfortable with when you enter the ring on Saturday the 18th against Marcos Reyes.
Yes, I think 168 is my way. I try to make history for Mexico in 165, but I think it's not the right time to move 165, and 168 is my way. I think the people see the difference this time.
Now, something else that's really interesting for this fight is you're going up against somebody also from Mexico in Marcos Reyes, who has 33 wins, 24 of those by knockouts, 2 losses, Julio, and he hits very hard. And I think that's interesting because you don't often get Mexico versus Mexico here in the States like you do if you were fighting in your native country.
Yes. When two Mexican fighters stay in the ring, every time make a good show, a good fight, entertaining fight. I think this guy, Marcos Reyes, is a young guy, a strong guy, very motivated for this opportunity. And me, I come to my last fight, I lost, and this is interesting, this fight, because two Mexican fighters every time with a great fight.
What can you tell us about your opponent in the ring? He has had some streaks of victories, 10 consecutive knockouts, twice in his career. So he obviously likes to try to win before the distance. He likes to try to end it if he can. And you tell me, as you've watched Reyes, he's 27 years of age. Is he going to be one of the harder hitters you're going to go up in the ring against?
Really, I don't think. I don't know, because I never hit me, but I don't think so, because I fought the best fighters in the world. When I fought Sergio Martinez is in this time the number 2 pound for pound in the world. I fought Andy Lee, now a world champion too, and but he's a good fighter. He's training for Nacho Beristain too. The trainer of Juan Marquez have a lot of experience. I know I have a very tough opponent, but I don't think he's the hardest punches I face.
Folks, again, it's going to be a week from Saturday at the Haskins Center, part of Showtime Championship Boxing, when Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. returns to the ring here in El Paso against Marcos Reyes. There's also the co-main event. It's going to have a pair of top bantamweights, undefeated. Puerto Rican Olympian Mick Arroyo takes on Arthur Villanueva of the Philippines. That's for the IBF Bantamweight World Championship. And then earlier in the day, it's a great doubleheader of boxing. Premier Boxing Champions on CBS. They're going to be bringing Carl Frampton and Alejandro Cobrita Gonzalez, and then you've also got Chris Arreola. So this is a all-day boxing event here in El Paso. Julio, that's one of the things I'm excited about the most for El Paso is if you're a boxing fan, you can go early in the afternoon, watch the fights featuring Frampton and Arreola for Premier Boxing Champions, then maybe go get a bite to eat, come back later in the evening, and get ready to watch you in the main event. I mean, it's an all-day boxing event here in El Paso.
Yes. I'm very excited for this. It's new because, all-day boxing the people warm up in the morning and see the main event in the night. I think it's very good for boxing, very good for the fans because it's all day boxing.
Now, you've already had a great career, and you're not even 30 yet. You won the middleweight world championship. You have 48 wins professionally with only 2 losses and a draw in your career. And yet, I'm sure ever since you were growing up, turning pro, you've always had to try and live up to your dad's reputation. And tell us how tough it is when you go through professional boxing that you're trying to establish your own career, your own legacy, but yet you're still Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., and people are always going to look at your dad when they talk boxing and talk about you in the ring.
Yeah, it's a little difficult for me, but, all my life is the same, it's nothing new for me, It's a little pressure, because my father is the best fighter in Mexico, the old time in Mexico. And it's a little pressure for me, but I am okay, I think I am the first Mexican middleweight champion in the world. In the history, I made history too. I try to make my history,
try to do my own things.
And I think I'm doing good things, good fight. Every time I go to the ring, I try to do my best. And when you go to Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. fights, you see a exciting fight every time.
Your dad's also been very important in your career. I've seen him at all your big fights. He's in your corner. He's cheering you on. And that has to really mean a lot to you to know that your father is really such a big part of your life, especially in the ring as you've had the opportunity to win world championships with him in your corner.
Yes. Yes, my father is very important for me, He helped me a lot. I learned boxing. When I see my father is very important part of my career.
Now, you've done a great job doing this entire interview in English, and I appreciate that, Julio, because your English is a lot better than my Spanish. I promise you that. But because I have so many listeners that speak fluent Spanish and Espanol, just like they do English, I want you, before we end this, to take a few minutes and, in Espanol, tell them about Saturday, July the 18th, and what is going to happen when you come back to El Paso to take on Marcos Reyes in the main event here at the Haskins Center.
Pues a toda la gente un saludo en El Paso, donde me ha ido muy bien. Y pues voy a pelear contra otros mexicanos, desgraciadamente, ¿no? Hay muchos peleadores, pero bueno, me tocó enfrentar a un mexicano. ¿Por qué? Porque es un peleador joven, un peleador con hambre, que se merece la oportunidad y que creo que entre los dos vamos a dar un gran espectáculo para toda la gente. Pero pues lógicamente siento que soy el peleador que tengo más experiencia, soy el peleador que he estado en más guerras y tengo ahora más hambre que nunca. Y le mando un saludo a toda la gente en El Paso.
Perfecto, Julio. Perfecto.
Thank you.
The tickets start at $25. They're on sale now. You can get them at all Ticketmaster locations or the University Ticket Center by calling 747-5234. You can get them online at Ticketmaster.com. And don't forget, if you buy a ticket to the Saturday night show, the Showtime Championship Boxing featuring Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., you will get a general admission ticket to the premier boxing champion show earlier that day on CBS. So 2 for 1 for all the fight fans here in El Paso. Julio, I'll look forward to seeing you next week when you come into town. Thank you so much for the time and giving us your thoughts on coming back to El Paso to fight next Saturday.
No, thank you all the people, and I see the people in El Paso, and I put my best July 18 in El Paso.
Can't wait to see him. He's Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. joining us here on Sports Talk. We'll come back to more of your phone calls, 880-5763. Stay with us. Twitter Tuesday continues on 600 ESPN El Paso.